What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I was hoping to do some mod installs for this weekend, but waiting on parts to come in, basically. So we're going to be upgrading the Accord's brakes, but we got new front rotors, new back rotors, and new pads all the way around. And tire rack has everything in stock except the front rotors, so we're just waiting on the front rotors basically, but that should be soon. They told me 2 to 3 weeks, and that was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, hopefully we'll get those, and we'll be doing a brake upgrade video for the Accord soon. But this video is just going to be like a daily driver review. 1 year of ownership. I've owned the Accord for about 1.5 years, and I've had a good amount of time driving it now, so yeah, I figured I'd review the car. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. It's, you know, let's start it up. So what's it like living with the Accord as a daily? I actually don't daily the Accord anymore. I daily that Pontiac Vibe right in front of us, because my work parking lot is quite dirty. Let's get this music out of here. Yeah, it's a gravel parking lot, but I was dailying this car for a while before I got a new job, and I drive this car basically every weekend still. And let me tell you guys, I wasn't sure when I bought this car if it was going to be worth it, but it was worth it, guys. This car is awesome. So this is the most money I've ever spent on a car. Every other car I've driven has been a cheap little beater, worth like at most a couple thousand. I think the Accord is worth like 20 right now because of how stupid the market is, but I bought it for $13,500. Okay, so I got it for $13,500 with 84,000 miles on it in like the middle of 2020, and it needed a little bit of TLC, but it was in pretty good shape. But I got all the major maintenance done: timing belt, spark plugs, water pump, all that stuff. And then it needed new tires because the tires that were on it when I bought it had split treads. So I got tires, and after all that, I was in for about like 15.5. And I thought, well, actually after plate and everything too, it was like 16.5. So that was like my purchase price for the car, basically 16,500. So this is by far the most money I've ever spent on a car. And I was kind of worried that I would have some buyer's remorse or something, but no, I still just enjoy this car every time I get in it and drive it. The J35 is a phenomenal engine, and yeah, I don't know, you gotta love it. I haven't had really any problems with the car, you know, besides like the routine, the preventative maintenance I've done. I haven't had to replace anything. I haven't had any part failures or anything. I'm trying to think of other important things to note about this car before I get into just praising it. Yeah, I don't know, this car is great. It's really easy to live with as a daily, even for a 2-door car. It's really roomy, the seats are comfortable. I've taken this car on plenty of road trips already, and it's no problem to drive in it for 3-6 hours even. You know, like, your back might be a little stiff by the end of it, and I'm really tall. I'm a tall guy, 6'5", so that happens to me really bad when I sit in a car for too long. But I actually love the Accord seats. They're super comfy, and the heated seats are really nice in the winter. Actually, I didn't think I was going to care that much about them, but they are quite nice. So yeah, Obviously this can only be had in the EXL trim since it's a 9th gen V6 coupe, so yeah, it's pretty loaded out. You got heated seats, power memory seats. Actually, this is the memory feature. Yeah, if you move your seat around, it'll put it back to where it was every time when you get back in. It's fancy. This thing's fancy, way fancier than any of my other cars. But man, it's fun to drive. The engine's just so rewarding. You just want to go, you know? You want to give it the beans. It makes you want to give it the beans. But yeah, would I recommend this car? Yeah, I love this car. I love this car so much that I've already talked other people into buying Accords. Not necessarily this one, but I have a buddy who needed a 4-door car, and I talked him into buying a 2.0 turbo Accord. He was looking at other stuff. I was like, man, you should check this out. It's like the best car at the price point. And he checked it out, and he concurred it was the best car at the price point. So, I mean, I don't think you can really go wrong with an Accord. They're great cars in general, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you got a lot of reliability. It's sportier than something like a Camry. I couldn't deal with driving a Camry. That thing is too boaty and floaty for me. The suspension on the Accord is nice. You get a lot of road feel, a lot of steering feedback, even though it's electric power steering. The 9th gen is the first generation with electric instead of hydraulic power steering. This car also has McPherson front struts instead of the iconic double wishbone that the older Accords are known for. I believe this one, I think actually the 8th gen, because I mean this is basically just a slim fasted 8th gen, but I think the 8th gen did away with the double wishbones, I'm pretty sure. I think the 7th gen Accord is the last Accord with the legendary double wishbone suspension, but it still feels good. It's not, you know, it doesn't feel like a cheap Econo box. It handles well. Even when you push it in the corners, there's just a little understeer, but you know, nothing you can't live with, and you can tighten it up. There's a lot of handling mods you can do for this car to tighten that up. You can literally just throw on an Acura TL 20mm rear sway bar, and you'll be in a more neutral steering position instead of understeery. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be right back, guys. We're gonna find a spot to cruise around and film the rest of the video, so I'll see you in a second. Alright guys, we're back. We're just gonna get a little bit of a cruising POV for the rest of the video. I mean, that's already what we've had, but yeah, we're just gonna get some nice back road cruising. So yeah, I mean, would I recommend the Accord? Yeah, I'd recommend the Accord. Would I recommend it at current prices? I don't know. It's hard to recommend a lot of cars at current prices. These things already held their value really well before the you know, COVID and chip shortage and everything that happened that made cars ridiculously expensive. You guys know about it all. I don't need to go into it, but excuse me, I got something in my throat too. But yeah, we'll just cruise for a little bit now and enjoy this nice sunrise, guys. We went from an Accord owner POV to a WRX owner really quick for a second there, guys. I had to rip the vape. I'm trying to think of more things to note about this car, like important things to note. I didn't really rehearse or plan this video at all. I mean, like I said, I just came up with this idea on the fly because my mod install idea fell through, so I wanted to still get an upload this week. We are going to try and get an upload every week unless we just can't. If I'm able-bodied and there's something that can be filmed, then we're gonna get an upload for the week. Every weekend, guys. Gotta love this car. It's just beautiful. It's really liking this weather too. It's been like 95 out lately. It's 63 right now is what I'm getting on here, and yeah, you can tell the Accord is really liking the weather. Do a quick 40 roll right here. I haven't gotten any speeding tickets in this car either, guys. That's something to keep in mind. You don't get pulled over in this car a lot. It is an Accord at the end of the day. Alright, let's turn around. Let's get turned around. Before these cars come run us off the road. I mean, yeah, it's just fun to drive. If you have a chance to own a V6 Accord, own a V6 Accord. The J Series, amazing. This engine, better than a VQ, guys. Come on. Who wants a VQ? You could have a J. I guess current mods on the Accord would be another good thing to note. So this car was already really great to drive stock. Currently it just has wheels, tires, intake tune, and I think I definitely don't regret any mods. The intake tune combo really woke it up. After I upgraded the tires, it wouldn't spin anymore, and now that it's tuned, it chirps the tires pretty good, so it definitely woke the car up a little bit. I would recommend And I mean, that's just on K-Tuner's base map. I'm not dyno tuned or anything, you know, so there's room, there's power on the table. We're also tuned for 91, but we have access to 93, so there's definitely power on the table to be picked up just from tuning still. But we're not going to get an actual professional dyno tune until we get all our mods installed, you know, until we finish the build. I'm not going to go get 3 different dyno tunes 3 different times, so yep. We'll get full bolt-on. I already have everything ordered to go full bolt-on, so we'll be installing plenty of mods. Plenty of mod installs will be coming on the channel. We got the whole RV6 setup on the way. We got the J-pipe, high-flow precats, double resonated mid-pipe. We're gonna slap on the Aborla 11853 exhaust section, and yeah, we're gonna have full exhaust from the precats back, intake, tune, and be full bolt-on basically. I think I might throw a J37 intake manifold and throttle body on, and yeah, I mean, after that it's like we're into like big boy mod territory. We're changing, I think our next, well actually no, we're not, because after that we'll probably do springs. I guess this has become a build breakdown video now or something, I don't know. But after we do full bolt-on tune, we'll probably do suspension. We'll do springs, sway bar, and then weight reduction mods. We've got some weight reduction mods, like I got a light battery coming. We already got the light wheels. We're going pretty all in on weight reduction too. I really wish there was like a carbon fiber hood for this car. A carbon fiber hood with a vent right where my short ram intake sits. I would buy that right now. I would drop whatever on that. 1500, I'd drop it right now. But no company makes one, so yeah, we're just gonna stick with what we got for the moment. If the Accord ever goes full-blown race car, maybe we'll just like rotate the short ram and cut a hole in the hood, you know, like those Civics do. But yeah, for now it's totally fine. It doesn't need a vented hood. My attempts have actually been pretty good with the short ram. My air temps and everything have been pretty acceptable still. I haven't really had problems with heat soak, so I'm happy with that. I was really worried that, you know, especially on hot days, we'd end up experiencing power loss after driving around for a certain amount of time, but no. It seems pretty happy no matter what. But yeah, after we do basic bolt-ons and then we lower it and get a new sway bar, then we're gonna get into big boy mods. Then we're gonna really start having fun on the channel. Thinking of doing full fuel system upgrades. So what I've been looking at is the P2R makes a plug-and-play fuel rail and fuel line kit, so we're gonna get those for flex fuel, and then we're gonna get bigger injectors. Probably, I don't know if I want to go with just 410cc injectors out of like an RDX, or if I want to go aftermarket and get like 600cc injectors, but one of those options, and then a fuel pump, and then we're gonna switch to E85, which is gonna be awesome. There's not too many E85 Accords running around. There's only a few of them. The gains aren't huge, but there's definitely gains to be had from going to E85. It's not a turbo platform, so you're not gonna get the insane gains that you do on a turbo platform, but there's gains to be picked up. For anyone who doesn't know, one of the main reasons why you can make so much power on flex fuel is because of the cooling effect of the fuel, because I mean, it's a lot of fuel, right? So ethanol is less energy dense than gasoline, so your car needs more fuel. For the same amount of combustion, you need more fuel. And with an ethanol content as high as like E85, you're literally cooling the engine because you're pumping so much fuel through it. Your fuel is basically washing the engine and cooling it. And yeah, the cooling effect lets you push higher power. It's also usually high octane ratings. I mean, it's like you can get like 105 octane E85, but yeah. The octane rating and the cooling effect, that's what lets you push more power on ethanol. Fun fact, everybody. And then you can then you can go to real big boy stuff. You can get to meth injection, but we're probably never going to do that on the Accord. I think this car will just be a full bolt-on, maybe flex fuel conversion, bunch of weight reduction. We might gut the trunk. We might rip the back seats out. You never know. We might put some racing seats in the front. You never know. But I don't think it's going to get too crazy. This car probably won't get boosted. Unless, you know, the channel gets big enough. If the channel gets big enough, anything's possible, guys. If you... if you guys get me to, like, whatever, X amount of subs and we start actually making YouTube money, then, I mean, I don't care about the money. I'm just making Accord videos because I love my car, so. Any money that gets made off YouTube is just like a bonus. It's just a benefit to me. So, if we make enough, it's just gonna get thrown right back into cars and into the channel and into cool shit for the channel. Like, if we make enough money, then yeah, it's all gonna go back into buying more cool shit. The only thing that I'll reinvest any YouTube money in is into more cars and more YouTube. You know? We'll be like all the other cool kids driving around in McLaren 690s and 720s. Except we're just gonna be driving around in a boosted Honda Accord and gapping those McLaren 690s and 720s. Alright, I don't know about that. Those cars are, don't race a 720. That's an enthusiast supercar. If you pull up on like a Lambo or something, it's probably bone stock, okay? It's still gonna be quick as shit, but it's probably bone stock. If you pull up on a McLaren 720, there's a good chance it's not even stock, and you don't want to race a modded supercar in most things. You're gonna get gapped in most things, so. But yeah, I don't think I really have any more thoughts on the Accord as a daily. It's a great daily. Even the coupe version, the back seats are totally usable. I'm 6'5". I can fit in the back seats totally fine. I'm not cramped at all. The trunk is huge, guys. The trunk on this car is huge. It's actually, I prefer taking this car to get groceries over my hatchback. My hatchback has a sub in the trunk, so I really prefer this car. But yeah, the trunk is absolutely massive. It's like a cave. It's so deep. And then, you know, you've got great visibility on the coupe model, obviously, because the pillars are so far back. That's one thing I really like about coupes is you can actually see out of them. There's no pillar right here and at the side of my head blocking my vision. It's just window the whole way. That's one of the things I really don't like about the newer Camaros. The new Camaro would be my favorite of all three current muscle cars, but you just can't see out of it, which makes the Mustang take the crown. Sorry, Challenger. Challengers are at a huge disadvantage for me, though, because they're too heavy. I don't like heavy cars at all. The Accord is about as heavy as I'd go. This car weighs like 3,300, 3,400 pounds out the box, and I don't think I'd want it to be much heavier. I think any more than that, you start getting pretty bloated. The ideal spot, I think, is around like 2,800 pounds, like BRZ weight. One of my favorite cars I've owned was my first car, which was a Celica, a Toyota Celica, the last gen one. And yeah, that car was really fun. Front wheel drive. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry about that. The GoPro turned itself off because it overheated, so I guess we can't continuously record just mounted to our head in 4K Super View for too long. Sorry about that. I'm still, this is only the second video I've made with the GoPro, so. But yep, the GoPro turned itself off because it overheated, guys. But I kind of lost what I was talking about. I have no idea what I was talking about before that happened, so. I'm pretty sure I covered basically everything I wanted to cover on the car. I think I went over all my plans for mods and stuff, and yeah, I think I got, you know, a good enough. This isn't really like a full-blown car review, you know, this isn't like the Topher or Savage Geese or Throttle House. I'm not a car reviewer, but just a quick idea of, you know, maybe you're on the fence about buying this car and you're like, well, what do people who actually own it think? Well, I think you should buy the car. It's awesome. It's an awesome car. I would recommend it every time. Yeah, and then, you know, as far as plans for the channel and the car, we're gonna be doing a ton of mods, ton of stuff. Still trying to get as many racing videos made as I can, but my friends are lame. They never want to meet up and film, so basically we just find randoms and then run them, and that's how we're gonna be making most of our race videos. Like that Mustang that we raced in the last video, I don't even know what that was. Somebody was asking me on, I think, TikTok if that was a 3-valve, and I have no idea what that car was, man. I think it was a 3.7. I think it was a Cyclone, but yeah, I have no idea. This sunrise is beautiful. This looks great. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this video, guys. If you stuck with me through all this random rambling, then thanks. Next week's video, we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming, some tuner stuff, some car guy stuff, going fast stuff, race car stuff. But for this week's video, it's just a simple little POV drive and car review, and what I recommend. So, yep. That's it. That's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope if you were debating anything or trying to decide if you wanted to get this car, or if you already own this car and you're trying to decide if you wanted to get any mods, I only have the intake tune so far. I can definitely recommend both of those mods. If you drive an Accord V6, grab a K-tuner. And the short ram intake, I had that on by itself untuned. It doesn't really add anything. You can't really feel any like power difference or anything, which I didn't think I would be able to. It's just a short ram intake, but the sound, yeah, the sound is beautiful. I would recommend the intake just for the sound alone. And we'll see how the exhaust sounds. I'm excited for that. I'm so excited for that, but that probably won't be here for a while. RV6, I'm waiting on lead times for their parts, and the J-pipe, when I ordered it, was like, I ordered it a month ago, and the lead time's like 3 to 4 months, so yeah. We're gonna be waiting like another 2 or 3 months. So the J-pipe should be here in like October, November, and then we'll be going full exhaust and bolt-ons. I should be a menace and just start ripping my Honda around these neighborhoods at 6 a.m. Typical Civic owner, typical fart can Civic owner ripping around the neighborhood at 6 a.m. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you sticking with me. We're gonna be building the Accord. You can follow the Accord build here. You can follow it on Instagram at SleeperCT2. You can follow me on TikTok at SleeperCT2. And yeah, basically all major platforms at SleeperCT2. And yeah, thanks guys.